Hey everyone, it's Demetrius. Once again, thank you so very much for following my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. This is a piece that I wrote in response to the events in Ferguson and its aftermath. The name of this piece is Black, and Brown Boys. I hope you enjoy. What has saved me from our long-standing reality? What has saved me from police brutality, codenamed disarming a suspicious threat? Is it my Greek name, my White House diction and syntax, the demographics of my address, or perhaps my sophisticated disposition? Is it my soft-spoken voice, my legal aptitude, or the perception that I'm not physically threatening? Admittedly, my father, like many black and brown daddies, has had the conversation, yes, with my brothers and I. His convictions were that we still be targets, notwithstanding, seen for what we presumably are, black and brown boys. We didn't grow up in abject poverty, dilapidation, nor were we entrenched in the welfare system. We weren't subjected to drugs, crime, or even single-parent or broken households. The American ghetto story was a myth, a phenomenalistic divide between us and the boys on the other side of the train tracks. We were educated, involved, and groomed for success. We had the housewarming dogs, the corporate-paid cars, the bricked and alabaster stone homes, and five-star vacations, all enclosed inside the sandalwood fence at the end of the long-reaching road. Despite these privileged shelters, am I still a target? I ask. Yes. First Emmett, then Darrell, Rodney, and Amadou. Not to mention Kimani, Usmain, Timothy, and Juan, too. Let's not forget Oscar and Sergio, Wendell and Trayvon. Taken too early from us were Michael, Javier, Victor, Orlando, and Sean. Some were armed with wallets, bicycles, marijuana, cell phones, Skittles, Arizona tea, not to mention autism and even little sisters. But all were united and armed with that brown hue, the coding given by conception that labeled them as criminals to society. What's to say Demetrius Jones is not next on their hit list? Is to protect and to serve now, to hunt and to annihilate. A heart coiled in fear, for history predicts the prey of these predators, more often than not, tends to be my brothers and mis hermanos latino. My reflection, my recollection. 4 years ago, during a family gathering, my northern-bred cousins and I were profiled, pursued, and stopped by county officers. The officer beams his spotlight into our vehicle and, on the loudspeaker, instructs us to remain still with hands where they could be visibly seen. We cooperate and do so. After careful observation with my keen discerning eye, it was my belief they were more threatened by my cousins than I. They are tall, dark-skinned, muscular, and tattooed, with bellowing voices and blonde mohawks, devilishly handsome and gifted. I, however, dressed in a collared, BR chinos, and moccasins, became intriguing to the deputies, as I didn't fit the bunch. "What's up here, fellas?" the officer said. "Good morning, officer. My name is Demetrius Jones. I'm a Mount Holly resident. My parents have a home in X neighborhood. These two gentlemen are cousins visiting from up north for a wedding and subsequent activities taking place at this resort. May we help you with something and understand why we've been stopped, please? We don't deserve to be treated like second-class citizens begging on our knees," I daintily responded. In less than 2 minutes, we hear sirens blaring in the distance, and shortly afterwards, more county police, state troopers, Charlotte police, and a SWAT team arrive at the scene. Were we preparing for battle? To be treated as a terrorist on my own democratic soil, the soil to which my indigenous Cherokee and African ancestors tended, the soil for which my grandparents fought for civil rights and liberties, the soil to which my parents served in uniform, defending with the 50 white stars and 13 red and blue stripes patched into their ACUs, the soil to which I pledge allegiance to each and every day in school, and the soil of which I protect and defend while in the People's Republic of Communism, is unconstitutional and low down. Now, I'm not militant or racist or discriminatory or bitter. Like many, I've grown pained and tired, yet I don't need a sitter. I'm concerned for the safety of my people. Will the justice system be reformed, or is it still perched on a steeple? My brothers and uncles, biological and acquired, are always on my mind. Will they assault Dion, baby Dion, because he's tall, strong, and dark? Will they assault Elder Ronnie because there's a slight lean to his walk? Will they question Amar because of his Arab heritage and name? Will they profile Ernesto because of his brother's affiliation with the gang? I'm concerned for my mother and aunties, for they're easy on the eyes. A crooked officer with twisted intent, ignoring how the law applies. My grandmother is strong and competent, nonetheless, she is aging. How can one be sure due diligence is taking place while his partner is on the walkie paging? Now, I'm not disputing the fact, the apparent fact, there also exists black on black crime, or there also exists just righteous law enforcers, failure abiding the law. For a life lost is a life lost felt by many. Just as I don't resent the Israelis or condemn the Palestinians, I don't support war, albeit civil or on foreign soil. America is great, but America is broken. I send unrestrained peace and uplift, may be felt from across the Pacific to the families, community activists and advocates, and thoughtful citizens in Ferguson and around the country. I am not free until you are free. After all of these words, I concluded my thoughts. Yes, this was my choice. Now, one question remains, Mr. President, where is your voice? Thank you. So this was the response that I had created in response to the events in Ferguson and just my thoughts about it and how I was feeling at the time. And mind you, when I wrote this last August, I was still living abroad and working in China, and so having to collect my thoughts and being able to articulate what those thoughts were, not only so that I could have full comprehension of what's going on from 8,000 miles away all the way across the world, but also having the opportunity and having it together enough to be able to explain to my Chinese friends and colleagues what this was, because this situation was something that definitely made national headlines and something that was obviously even made international headlines as well. So I would love to hear what your thoughts are as it relates to the events in Ferguson, or as it relates to this piece that I written, or as it relates to any of these issues that may surround this particular issue set. So once again, thank you so very much for your time. Thank you for your support, and I look forward to your constructive feedback and the dialogue. Cheers.